Hi there. Let's take stock of where we are and where we're going. So, you've been working on Module 9, the Northern Art Boom Part 1, which promises a Part 2 to come. And then I've just opened Module 10, the Early Renaissance in Italy. So both Module 9 and Module 10 are dealing with the 1400s from two different regional perspectives. And you're going to see as you look here at the early Renaissance that the 1400s are really where this concept of the Renaissance takes full root and flowers in Italy. The Renaissance is going to continue in your next module that will come next week, Module 11. And we'll talk about it as the High Renaissance. So we're starting to divide the century up or the period up into smaller units, and we're starting to see how there are differences in terms of different parts of Europe. You are closing in towards the end of the semester. Module 11th open next week will then be followed by a Module 12, a Module 13, and whoa, that will be the end point. So if you look at DVC's calendar, here we are in April 12th, the week of April 12th. We've got this week and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more weeks to finish line. Wow. These 5 weeks coincide with some of the most amazing and iconic art of the whole Western tradition. And you're going to see that this is also a time when we get some of the artists who start to stand out as individuals of astonishing brilliance. One of the things I want you to train your eye and mind to to see and think about clearly is space. If you look here, the discussion assignment that culminates this Module 10 is all about pictorial space. And one of the most important things you're going to learn about in this module is the development of a new kind of space called one-point linear perspective. It's very different than the kind of space that you see in the International Gothic that you're studying right now with your discussion on seeing class, status, and style. And so thinking about that International Gothic sense of space, I wanted to come to Renee's really illuminating and thoughtful discussion contribution here and the way she speaks about space, about the space in the Limburg Brothers' Très Riches Airs. She says, the atmospheric perspective coupled with the odd angles that are used to make the nooks and crannies visible creates a shadow box effect, yet is so visually interesting. So that is a wonderful line, and I'm pointing it out because it's not only that she describes space so well, it's that, as I said to her, I really think that's an insightful observation that's worth keeping in mind because it will allow you to understand what's important about linear perspective that will be more consistent, mathematically based, and it won't have the odd angles, nooks, and crannies. This is a turning point in how the pictorial world is designed in the West, so it's very exciting to watch it happen. Quick note on the structure of the module. You don't see a quiz for this one because I've essentially divided the 15th century, which remember is the 1400s, into the early Renaissance and what I'm calling towards the High Renaissance, which is sort of the later part of the 1400s, around the 1470s and 80s. And you have a quiz at the end of that module, which brings together everything you're learning in Module 10 and actually presents a quiz also for Module 9. Because what I'm trying to do in this layout is to have you think of each of these parts individually. The North is its own place with its own story of its kind of art. So is Italy, and that evolves a little bit as time goes on. And yet they're all together part of the same phenomenon, which is the exciting new kinds of art that are being made for middle-class merchant patrons, as distinguished from the aristocrats who had dominated art patronage.